formula for Didajo, right? So this is he explains how to do it here, and this is the basic formula to break up blood stasis and move qi, right? To warm cold that's come in, right? So you've got a lot of things that tonify yang qi, right? You got the tian qi, the ginseng, things that break up blood like the shuejie, things that warm and invigorate blood, the safflower, right? The honghua, rushang, moyao. These things will move blood, so you can apply this after your sinew treatment to the person, to the area, right? Then you've got you have other things here. Fennel is warming, clove is warming to help warm the body and help to produce more jin fluids through the stomach, to warm the stomach, to help promote wei qi to the area. All right, so this is good. What I would suggest with this is when you make this to promote the warming aspects of it and to speed it up a little bit, get yourself a large pot, not aluminum, something that's metal, put it on your stove, and then fill it with alcohol, just cheap vodka, and maybe depending on how much he has here, depending on how much this makes, this might be, he says gin here, which is fine. He doesn't give an amount of alcohol to use, but basically I would do something that's probably double the amount that would be however high the herbs come up to, right? And then you want to bring it to a simmer and let it simmer for about a half an hour before putting it in your big glass jar. Or if you want to be even more traditional about it, you bury it underground for 6 months. So you would want to put it into a clay pot, a yellow clay pot generally, and seal it. That would basically be sealed from the elements, and dig it and put it down below the frost line. By doing this, it allows the formula to absorb the yin qi of the earth. What does that do? When you get injured, a lot of times what happens is when you get injured, your yin becomes deficient in the local area. So a lot of these things are to move, to support blood, but also to invigorate it and to try to support yin. By digging it and putting it in the ground and letting it store there for 6 months, right? You absorb the yin qi of the earth, and that is this non-tangible, back to the idea of away from a substantive medicine. This is part substantive, right? Because it's got herbs. But the idea of a resonance medicine, you're adding the resonance, the yin of the earth, into this by storing it in the area, underground for 6 months. And when you pull it out, it will be much better at nourishing yin qi when the person is injured who uses it for a trauma. So this can be used post sinew treatment to help warm the area and massage in. How long to boil it for? Bring it to a simmer for about 30 minutes. How about a clay pot container like cheese? Give it a shot and see if it will hold. Generally, when we have them stored in the clinic, we keep them in glass jars because they look cool, right? People like the way they look. Like, oh, that's that. And then, when I had my clinic, we had about 5 different ones, and they were in big glass jars this big by this wide, and people like to go in and see them because they can see the herbs and they can see it there for, 6 months, 8 months, a year or two, and they get darker and darker over time, right?